After you've created your class, you'll be brought to what they call the dashboard. And this is basically where you can see all the different classes you have. You can create a new class. You have different options of a new post, reviewing posts, comments, users, and settings. So I'm just going to take you through the dashboard first, and then I'll show you also just a little of the settings that I would tweak to make sure it's the safest spot for your students. Basically, the dashboard will show any published posts that are already published. Pending posts means that they're either waiting to be published if you have to approve them or if you've set to approve. Any drafts that you have waiting, comments that are waiting to be approved, pending comments that have been approved, and then ones that are pending. And so this is kind of that everything blogging is set right here in your dashboard. Here we'll show different recent comments. You can turn that on and off. You can also see pending ones, approved, and here you'll see the recent posts. So this is kind of, if you want to see everything in one snapshot, the dashboard is the place to be. Notice you do get 500 megabytes, which is a lot of space, especially if you're embedding things onto here versus uploading them, which is a lot of space for you and your students to work on. Just a few of the settings I want to go over briefly. If you click up in the upper top part of the tab, you've scrolled up, you have settings. General, this you can name your blog, you can set your class URL. Is when kids type in this URL, it'll take them to your class page. So make sure that it's not too long so students can have it easily to type in that backslash, and I named it Summer Twins. They have a new piece where you can actually have people sign up for the class using a secret code. So before, teachers would add kids to the class, but others could actually join now by having this code, and kids could enter it and actually enter your classroom that way, which is another slick way to add students to your class. View other themes, tons of different themes that are available. They keep adding more and more, and you can adjust that as well. And then making sure time zone set, and the next piece is the themes, which we already looked at. And then widgets. This is a new piece of Kidblog that they've adjusted, but tags widget is you can actually tag posts now, so kids can organize their work a little bit easier. So if you had teach them to put reading with every tag that went with reading, you would easily be able to click on that tag and it would show every post that has to do with reading. Or if a certain student was reading a certain book and they were in a book club together, you could put Stone Fox, and every student reading Stone Fox, they could click on that tag and it would actually show those tags right there. Another way, another widget that they've added is the blog directory widget, which shows all the users of your blog, which I like to have up. And a blog roll widget, I believe, is where you could actually link to another blog and it would show the blog roll from that blog, or basically show the posts that are coming up. Posts will actually give you some settings of who can read them. I have mine currently set that users in the following class. So let's say I had another teacher in my team that's using Kidblog. I could actually enter their Kidblog URL, so kidblog.org / and whatever their classroom is, and that would allow me to actually have my kids comment on theirs and their kids comment on mine, which is actually a really cool feature. So if you're within a district, it allows you to have some freedom to share and comment on each other's blogs and not be in the same class, which I think is really neat. You can also just set it as admin teacher only, which I would set users in the class and set the one class that I have, so my class that I'm currently using, that's how I have it set. And then I would actually add others on my team or across the district that might be using Kidblog, so I can comment on theirs as well. To get started, I would suggest having it set that you would moderate all the posts, just because that way, just to make sure that the kids are appropriately commenting or appropriately posting, and making sure that you have that set up before you allow them to do it without approval. And then just the email where you want to be notified. Media uploads, you can actually, I guess, create a library now where you can put media into, and managing tags, you can actually, it looks like, click and you can add some different tags that students could use within their posts, which might be helpful if you're doing certain books and things like that, so they don't have to type it every time. Comments, similar to posts, who may leave comments. I have it set, I would set it again as my class, If you wanted to allow users with a guest role to leave comments, this is where you could put a username guest, and you maybe set it as a parent, so all the parents in your class could also sign in and see this. So it'd be a way that it still could be locked, but parents could sign in and see what's going on and leave comments to the students. You would still have the option to moderate those comments, setting right here, so make sure this box is checked. But I think this is kind of a neat way to include parents into this feedback system within your blog. And then here's just how many, so if students are leaving comments, how many comments deep can some of those comments, or can the comments go? So I usually set it at 5 or less. And then I like to put also enable rich text comments, so kids can actually put links and different things in the commenting section. And then users, this is where my next video will show a little bit about allowing what you allow different users to do. I have teachers are allowed to create and edit other teachers. Moderator role, I've seen also other teachers set maybe some parents as moderators, and they can actually edit and improve comments and posts. And then student role, I turn this piece off, but you can actually let them edit, change passwords, display names, stuff like that, but I have that piece turned off. So click Save Changes, and our next step will be to add students to our class.